Hello everyone, Malik Sigrist here, and it is great to be a part of ICPI Week 2025 here with AVING News, and we get to meet some incredible companies and technologies, of course, but also some incredible people covering this event. And I think that's one of the things I love about this, because I can get a little bit more of a deeper understanding, not just from visiting the booths, but talking to people who have that deeper knowledge that I don't have. And what's actually fascinating about this one is we have a doctor of microbiology who I studied that in undergrad, so her level is way above me. We have Dr. Manbeena Chawla, who's the editor-in-chief of BioSpectrum Asia. Doctor, thank you for joining us.
Thank you, my pleasure.
Can you briefly introduce yourself? Tell us about yourself and, of course, BioSpectrum Asia.
So BioSpectrum Asia is a biotech business-based magazine which covers a lot of verticals ranging from biotech, pharma, biopharma, clinical research, contract research and whatnot, especially the biotech startups. And I am the editor-in-chief there, and we have our magazine as well as website covering plenty of information.
Okay, I got to ask you, since I'm also, my major was that, obviously way lower. I was a zoology major and I never got past, my bachelor's degree, but what got you interested in this field? Were you always interested in microbiology or in general science?
Right, so I mean there are so many diseases around the world
There
which
are
not yet treated properly and not even diagnosed properly. So it was always very, intriguing for me to understand what goes behind the human body, how do we fall ill, and what are the treatments available. So communication of science is, I think, the best way to understand how the research is going and how the final product is being developed by the industry. So that's what's bringing me here.
Absolutely, that's a great answer. Thank you so much. Let's talk about the exhibition right now. We're here at ICPI Week 2025. You've been here a few days already.
Yes.
Tell us about your impressions of the exhibition.
It's amazing because it's a B2B exhibition and we see a lot of products on display with new technologies which are very, very important to develop new products. So I think it's very encouraging, especially for Korea doing so much hard work. It's wonderful to see this.
Yeah, certainly. And it's always amazing the scale that that they're presenting us, so many different companies from all aspects of this. But let's talk about companies and technologies that stood out to you. Were there any that caught your eye?
Absolutely. Especially, I think, with the advent of artificial intelligence, robotics, applied across R&D, manufacturing, production, there is so much on display. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think with AI, it's interesting to me, not just AI, because AI is interesting in itself and how it works, but like how it's being applied in different industries as well. And I think that's something to look forward to as we come back every year and see how it changes.
Absolutely.
Okay, so how about Korean, specifically Korean biotechnology and pharmaceutical technologies? In your opinion, how are these technologies perceived in Asia?
I think the plus point what Korea offers is that it has a huge infrastructure and they have government support and they have skilled workforce. And that kind of plays, very strong for the Korean market to display their products across the world. So I think they have an edge there, and that's exactly what they are doing.
Yeah. Well, certainly, I mean, as we see with conferences as well, the government does put a lot of money, but not just money, but infrastructure support to get these companies going out there and getting out to Asia. I think that is, you hit it right on the nose there with that. And of course, the talent pool here as well, the intelligence, obviously it's great that you have a PhD, but there are, you're kind of with your people here. There are one of the highest countries in the world when it comes to PhDs as well. So you get to talk to your peers, people that are way smarter than me, and that's why she's here.
Thank you for that.
So are there any, what about obviously a lot to stick out, but any game-changing technologies, concepts, ideas, or companies that you noticed here, when it comes to these markets?
So I think one key aspect of this exhibition is that a lot of equipments are on display, and these are exactly what is needed for the research work. Of course, we need the talent, but where would the machine or the equipment come in play? So if you have the right equipment for the right research at the right place, then work becomes really easy, and that's exactly what Korea is offering through this exhibition. So that's the plus point.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the equipment, and what is being used, whether it's laboratory equipment all the way to just the packaging equipment here, it is crazy to see as someone who, for the first time when I came here a few years ago, had no idea all the backbone of this industry, right? Let's talk about specifically 3 key points. Let's break it down to 3 key points. What are 3 key points for Korean biotech and the pharmaceutical companies to enter into the Asian and global market successfully? What do these Korean companies need to get out there?
I think the most important thing is the partnership. The Korean companies should partner with the global companies, and we do see a lot happening. In fact, in the morning I was reading a news about a company called Lotte Biologics. It's a contract drug research manufacturing company. They've just opened a facility in the US and they have huge plans forward. So that's exactly what is needed, partnership. And of course the government support is there, but of course the intra-government and inter-government collaboration is also required so that all countries can work together.
Yeah.
And the third aspect is the startups. The Korean startups have a long way to go. If they are able to innovate in the right direction, they can open a great new chapter.
Certainly, I think developing that ecosystem is very important, and it is kind of cool to see that connection as well. So the government in Korea connecting and building up the startups, but then through the government, as you mentioned, talking to other governments and working with them, and then obviously on a company-to-company level, collaboration is the future. You know, hopefully as we continue to globalize in this world, you again hit it right on the nose. Let's look at the future of Korean biotech and pharmaceutical companies. What is the outlook? So you kind of gave us the steps that they need to make sure they take. What do you think the outlook is for these companies?
I think continued investment is required because there's a continuous process of innovation that should continue. If that does not happen, then of course there would be like a break point. So that is something Korea does not want to do. So I'm pretty sure that the innovation graph would go higher and higher, and that's the right direction ahead, yes.
Yeah, and we've heard, at least from what we hear in the news, I've heard nothing about them stopping innovation investments. And I think that is something that Korea does a good job of. They don't just invest in infrastructure, they invest in these technologies as well. And I think that is something that we can look forward to and assume, I think you're right, to assume rightfully that we're going to see some incredible growth and development in the next couple of years.
Yes.
All right, now let's bring it back here, ICPI Week 2025. What is the value that ICPI Week 2025, 2026, what is that value that a global conference like this brings as a global business platform for biotech and pharmaceutical companies?
I think this particular platform brings together the entire ecosystem because the step from R&D to production, everything is covered. Nothing is missed in between. So anybody who even wants to start a business could actually understand what it takes to start with the R&D, then the manufacturing, then the production, etc., etc. It covers everything, and that's the best part about it.
Yes, I always thought it's always fun to come here and imagine having an infinite money supply, and you could really create a company just by piecing together a couple of different companies here and saying, I need these products with this technology, this facility, this logistic, and you could make a company from scratch. Come to these.
Where else would you get that?
Absolutely. Thank you. This is Dr. Manbeena Chawla, the editor-in-chief of BioSpectrum Asia. As we say in Korea, my sunbae, my senior when it comes to science majors, but again, my super senior, Dr. Manbeena Chawla. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Alex. Thank you.
So there we go. We get to talk to someone else who knows, again, way more than me, but can give us a little more insight into not just the technologies here, but also Korea and its place in the global market. I'm Alex Siggers with AVING News, and I'll see you next time.